Hey, good morning. Thanks for being here. Kind of noticed, so hold on. Can you watch the, yeah, that is weird. So, although I just line up this way because of easy motion. And, um, until it's still they're stable, but you're not. But it's kind of right here. Turn on the step. If I can, cover with it, or just, you know, yep, a little bit out. Right. Okay, now but also I'm not giving myself that space. Right? It's, yeah, yeah, that's good. Very very different. Your, your kids are deciding to do well, well, then. That's the other thing. You decide set easy but not. Now hold there for now, right there. Full energy here, flow in. Let's try it. Yeah. Uh, hold it for it underneath you. Yeah, like there, under. Well, it's okay. You're uh, you're looking at that stuff. It's just really good. And then all the like, yeah, and then right? Easy. Loop, easier. Get your base. Tight cheek. Better, better. under, under, ro- uh, underside. Then now you're leaning over here. Get away. You're not trying to do it. Okay. Yeah, that's better. Okay. I kind of like to look at a little right here. That's your body. This body, you sit, okay? You don't want anything here. All right. So instead of you right there, for example, now I'm going to twist the body, rotate. We have a movement. Then EQ. EQ would be more. Right? And we go that way. That's for that. But what I want you to do, oh, that twist. Smooth, easy. If you've got a underground, the pool, the place you can stand on it. Easy. Good shot. Please. You're ready. He comes a little slow on you. So you're the same motion. So there's more weight, more speed. You're losing your body energy. It's flow in your hips turn. Then you take a step. Okay? Let's go. Yeah, that's good. 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 Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah. Rotate your hip. Now you're twisting your body. This shoulder goes back. Now, yeah, yeah, yeah. Take yourself, but okay. You stretch. You're setting. So we'll go. We just keep on working. It's nice. Because we're there. Both members. I look over until they struggle. So point stop what they're doing in the past. You do it instead of sitting, the other team get all the energy. Okay? Now, there's turn your belly. Now turn your belly button tomorrow. Turn your belly. Okay, now you're You see, it's like a koan here. Okay, right now, is shoulders relaxed, turn your forward, down. Your belly button, yeah. Notice that. You're moving to the center. Yes, rhythm going on. Only what you got to do is the opposite. If you can, right? Easy. That gives you. You're in my here. And first half, not second half for you. So, all right. Make sure you're looking at the other one. You're going to come out of it. Okay. So I don't know. Well, we got one. Wait. Oh, we go to one. We go convolute. It's not. It's not. I'm going to put under it. Oh, but we were to go. Oh, maybe that's. Okay. Oh, I hear you. It's easy. Okay. The different movement as we go this way. So easy. Put on that. Or this way. Other, what are different possible? Loosening is very connected. Ah, right. Right. Let's just go. Now what we do here is rotate this way. Okay. And this. Well, that's an interesting one. You're going this way, you're reversing. Okay. Here, establish yourself as it's a circle around it. It's a relationship. Take 10 circles to create a flow. Here, right, they're there, keep gathering, not bringing to grab. Okay? Now, most of them turn their hips with the upper body. So really, it's my and kind of like these kind of come this way. It's a little fancier, fancier. So we're not going to do way more basic. Back, gap, set, step. But there's Okay. Okay. Just nowadays. What? So, what? So, okay. Now, but let's just a little bit. You're thinking time. This is good. Now it's a line. Okay. All right. So it's not to look at the difference. The energy trade between good. Now you can open path with okay, now something like if we go here. Not up and on top. Here. You go into the whoa. Whoa. Power. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay. Have you, it's a tip is when you're going this way, person can what distance is before oh well here oh right here where the twist of the there's in here coming in just oh these guys come out in way okay I got myself a little I can maybe want to get right here blooms are it goes oh, goes stop wood yeah I'll hold it to the let's clean that up. Turn your belly button to the top. It's good. Right now you're okay. Push and set it. So whatever good reaction here as you go. It's a freestyle spine. Turn your belly button. Yep, you need to. Now look at it. Turn face exposed. That's free of your system research. Right there. Now I'm going to come in. Step in. Good. Now go there. Drops. Oh, what you're going to do? You're going to turn. Done. You're not looking turn. You're just going to turn. You know, you're good. Now you're going to try to pitch it. Okay. So turn, turn, turn. Good. Yes. Okay. not the early days. These days are pretty good. You got Taylor. Good. Hold it there. You take right, right. Other way. Try to good. John Taylor. Good, but we got two fast wide out. All stuff and Bill Walters. Go, whoa, I got two fantastic guys here. Like just really make it. Turn. Good. All of a sudden, sweet. My feet are like, well, just weird, weird. And that shoulder look, it's what? Relationship. Yeah. Okay, I'll try to open it up a little. Okay. You're carrying weight. Don't. The weight's in your mind. You lose ease to some degree. Turn. I'll try to do that. Got me? And turn. Now, right between turn and turn, there's the pause. Ease there. Right? And boom, go. Okay, and now what's happening is you're setting and twisting your body. Turn your belly button towards Steve. Turn your belly button over there. Free and easy. Turn your belly button towards Steve. Now take a step. Now turn your belly button over there and take a step. Boom. Your visual and shoulder orient. More from your belly button. Step, turn, good, now step, boom, boom, good, the beginnings of it. You know you sort of have it when all of a sudden, boom. Okay? If it feels like this, you're coming this way, boom. And then it's very simple, you just step underneath, and right about here, like boom. All right? You relax your shoulders, get your hip in there. You don't try to get them down with your shoulders. Okay, but it's set up. Good, now. Okay, now there's still that set the twist. We need to reprogram that. Huh? First part's good. Now go. See what's happening to that? Okay, now the first one, you're carrying weight on the step back. You got rid of that weight. Okay, now the weight's in this turn. Do equal motion. You feel my weight? Go. Turn. Okay, good. You feel my weight? Now let's just put it all together. Back, go. Oh, good. That's the beginning of it. You're about 60% of it. Do you feel that? When you start to feel weight, you got to check your mechanics. If he's coming in this direction, I'm feeling it. No, change it. No. Right about here, I feel this way. Boom. Flow, his mass doesn't change. But basically, I'm dealing with him as energy. Now, there are other ways that you calibrate energy, a certain amount of voltage will hit you like a certain amount of force. Right? But that's an important one. If he's coming with this, what about this one? Boom, we got this one, got this one, boom. Free motion. Okay. Moving very freely. He's coming with boom. Come on, man. Oh. Easy. Easy is easy. What we do is we substitute certain other things to make it hard.
easy is not easy.
Yeah, well, but it really is. It's easy to go into old habits. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's go into for example here. Right. It's going to come in the direction. Boom. We got that much. Right. Now we live in a heavy, dense dimension. So there's weight. Okay. But increasingly, what we want to do is come from a flow dimension. Now, there are certain mechanics to it. It's more than that. Flow dimensions itself. He's coming quick. It's like a go. Boom. Okay. When I'm out there visually, I create weight. Now, use your vision. You're more of a flow dimension. It's more of a feel dimension. If he's coming fast, all of a sudden he's energy. I right about here, I grab him, I feel his weight, and I twist him. But boom. Okay. Using a comic book analogy. There's some disaster in South America. I'm Clark Kent. I sort of dodge what's happening, go to the broom closet, and boom, I'm out the window. Go to South America and rescue the rainbow. Okay? That's, it's more of a comic book analogy, but that's what we want. Free motion, free motion. Free motion this way segues into the free motion that way. And so if I go this way, boom. And you'll know the difference because right here is that, there's there's escape, because when I'm going here changing, I get punched or something. Right? So right about there, we want to close that. And the more he weighs, the harder it is to get under his arm and complete it. Okay. Okay. So even though, we're supposed to know this stuff for 52 tests, but guess what? Okay. You got to be like Einstein. You're working towards the theory of relativity, and you get bits and pieces of it. You have a direction. You know where you're going. You have to check your math constantly because your mind can get ahead of your math. Okay, but there's a certain feeling in here that you're working off of. Your imagination is directing you to areas that haven't been explored yet. You're creating your own physics in here. We're not creating Shihonage, but let's say we're trying to recreate more Wada Sensei did. And he was an old guy, but he could still move. Right? Huh? I'm getting up there too. I know the feeling, because I'm better at setting and jerking and twisting. As you get older, you can't do that. But the actual movement improves if you understand the direction of it. I want to deal with energy. The system, looser, freer, it's more like energy. Energy moves, but it has its own balance with itself. Energy, for example, here's not that way, that can reverse. And we have other things we can go off of that. Okay? Let's stick to the Shihonage for the other side. Boom. Boom. Now right here, I pull him so he starts to weigh something. Easy. He comes together with his wrist. I don't run into his weight. If I run into his weight, I got to recalibrate and make sure that I'm freeing my system up. Okay? All right, let's go one more time. Important. Okay. Easy. Easy means you got your ground, but you also got your grip free. Your vision is wide angle. You're not gonna you're gonna move, but you're not gonna react. Okay? Okay. Now, most people carry an illusion of physical weight. You're carrying mental weight. Turn your belly button. Step. No, step back. Good. Now, turn your belly button. Step back with a wide angle lens. Good. See that? There's no weight there. Physical or mental. You're in a flow state. Good. Now we'll see if we can expand on that. Now you're taking more mental weight because you're thinking about what you're going to do next. I mean, it's crazy, you know, when I'm thinking about it, then that's where all my tea goes. All right? Boom. Huh? Boom. Felt it.
Oh, yeah. It's like a rocket ship thing.
Yeah. The Superman. Going out of the broom closet to save the rainforest in South America. Yeah. Easy there. Don't carry the mental weight, even when you're trying to figure it out, you create weight. Okay? The shoe doesn't move freely for you. You know enough. That's the sad and happy fact. Okay? Turn. And turn. Okay, that's the beginning of it. Now you're saying to come here because your mind's worrying. Easy. Easy. And that's the mental weight. Now then you're feeling the physical weight. Okay? Yeah. Put that. No. That's that. Back. Okay? Turn your belly button. Turn it. Good. Yes. Now be able to segue from this to that. If he's coming this way, I'll go over here. He turns around. We're going to go this way. I'll go this way. I mean, I thought they did crazy stuff. Both of you come in here. He saw pathways other people didn't because he was coming more, you might say, in a flow state. He wasn't carrying any mental or physical weight. That's what happens in the flow dimension. You still that's half and half. Half mental, half physical. Clear. They go. Good. Now, there's more mental weight. You understand it, but it's still not functioning understanding. Unless you want to go for it. Your mind and your body happy together doing a flow dimension. There's you standing as a flow being in the flow dimension. And now the forehead tightens and jaw locks and freezes. Go. Good. Don't think about going. Go. Bruce Lee would probably say, don't think about hitting hit. Okay? Don't think about kicking kick, right? Well, and into your mind, be shapeless, formless. I don't hit, it hits. Flow dimension moves, and you're part of that dimension. Go. Good. That's liberation.
It felt like it moved.
Yes.
Just now.
It's almost like you didn't do it.
Right, yeah.
And when you get in the way here or there, physically twisting or mentally carrying something up here, then all of a sudden it can't come in. Flow dimension's right here for all of us. The question is, do we know how to access it? Okay, and then the turn is easy. There's no weight. There's, you see what I mean? The whole table is set for you. It's just you keep knocking the plates down and yelling at the waiters who are trying to put the food on the plates. Okay, that's the noise here. Okay, so the reward is freedom. Or whatever, you know, you're worried about the world, boom. You got a moment of freedom. And after a while, I don't have to find myself worrying about junk that's happening out there. I can deal with things that I need to deal with. All right? Call me Sogi. Fancy word. Okay? Okay. All right. Let's look at, let's look at, okay? Let's change things a little bit. That's okay. Now, what he's been doing, he's been coming to grab, of course, he's been coming this way. Okay, now that's, we use kind of the circle rotating, repeating for that. But what we're going to play now is he's going to come more direct, like he's going to grab or push the chest. And you know, we do a lot of katedori, okay? In Japan, we used to work munedori too. Munetsuki, this area here. So he comes to push it out here. They're related. One, I'm creating space to allow better communication. In other words, here, if it's coming this way, okay, instead of being at odds, you know, we come together in this direction. Okay. Looks like I'm controlling, but it really is both of us. Both our energies are moving in a way that we're communicating. Okay. Now, you've got the step back. Okay, good. Actually, the step back move is something that you constantly work on. I mean, I tell you, Stephen Curry's teaching kids, or high school, college, no, high school usually. Suffering really good ones like Chet Holmgren. They're all at Steph's camp. Okay, and he tells them, he says, the stuff I'm teaching, I still work on. I still work on it. I still work on it. Okay, so here, if he's coming from the middle, it's what we're going to do. It's a slightly different energy. It's different than somebody focusing right through the middle. Okay, this Munetsuki, the showman. Okay, and then there's the Munedori, which is honestly, since he did a lot of Munedori. I was at one of his Q tests, and I realized we don't do Munedori here. You know, it's Katadori because it's the Hombu system, right? They do a lot of Munedori. It's Munedori. You're also practicing Munetsuki. You're also practicing showman, right? So, you know, if you're teaching newer people, then they start to stare at the hand, they can't move. And you say, okay, now he's going to give you something a little easier to work at. After a while, you're not looking at the hand here. You're looking at the hand trying to push you or grab you. Your energy to energy, okay? So if he's coming in this direction, well, he does most of the work for me. He's coming with a lot of energy. I try to stop him. Then, you know, his energy against my energy. Well, no, just change your position. Okay. So we're switching the attack and we're going to the Munedori Iriminage. Okay? let's change partners. Okay, now, where you were. Yeah, now you're moving. Okay, it's no step. Doesn't mean that you're held to skelter. Okay, if you hit the ball and it's not caught in the outfield, you're first base, second base. You don't run second base to first base to third base. Right, it's just progression, right? Right. I mean, yeah, there are certain basic rules that way. But for example, I'm going to come at you. Come on. Okay. Now, you're a door. You're going to tear yourself off your hinges and try to get away. No, you're just going to open when I come to smash you. Good. So now you're in a good position. Now do your next. Okay. Now right about there. Bend your knees without setting your weight. Okay.
Hmm. Yeah, I need to change me.
That's correct. Okay. Well, you're supposed to lead the 49ers to victory as Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know if you follow football. But he would take them to a pretty important game and lose. Okay? So easy there. Remember, you're the door. You don't tear yourself off of your hinges. You open. Good. Now, bend your knees without setting your weight. Now you set, which allows other things to interfere with that intention. No, it's no step. Okay? Remember here, back here, there's no step. You understand? A step. Now if I'm stuck, boom, I can jump start myself. But I realize I need a jump start. I'm not going to try to. The car won't
Turn
start.
on the
So I'm
key.
going to keep kicking it until it starts. It'll never start. Well, maybe I need a jump start. Okay. I got jump the table. Somebody else comes. Yes. If you make a mistake, you have the jump start if you understand the technology if you're on motion. And if you don't, then you're going to be kicking the car, hoping it turns over. It won't. Okay? So now we're going this way. Good. The first part was really good. But then you get visual and reach out from the end. Include me in that motion without soft eyes. Okay, good. All you did was clean up something that you were fixated on.
Yeah, well, I would get there and I'd be like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, now codifying what it is. Anybody can hit a home run. They close their eyes and want to go back to the dugout and eat their hot dog, but all of a sudden it's a home run. Okay, it's really bad guy. You know, in strength training, Sandy Koufax, he was an otherworld pitcher in the 60s. He throws at one of his famous curveballs. The guy doesn't know what to do. He just closes his eyes and he gets a base hit. I don't think he's ever going to get another hit on Koufax. Okay, right? Now, easy. You've got to figure it out. It's functioning in the moment intelligence. The more you try to figure it out, the worse you're going to get. Okay, good. Yeah, you're looser, freer. You're smart, except your intelligence gets in the way. But we want to keep that intelligence and put it in a functioning mode, mind, body together, creates a flow state, and you are in that flow state as a person. Okay? If you know too much, you got to know enough to after a while stop kicking the car, hoping it's better. I'm going to kick it better. I'm going to use a roundhouse kick instead of my. It's not going to work, is it? You got to jump start the car to get it to move. The battery's dead. All right. Hey, Superman, can you fly me to a gas station? Sure, that'll work. But the kicking the car will not. You see what I mean? Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. One of the intriguing things about Aikido is that we're kind of working. If you work at there's matter and there's energy. Okay. There's matter and there's energy. Okay. Now you could look at matter as another form of energy. I mean, Einstein came with E equals mc squared, so there's an equation for it. But basically, probably before the universe, if we go back to the beginning of the universe, there was a big bang, and everything kind of cooled down. And of course, it was really hot, took physical form with weight. But everything came out of key, if you will use that. What was key in that? It's maybe primordial chaos. Somebody had to organize it, put everything into that seed point and go kabang. So matter, energy, energy, matter. Now, the other thing that you kind of need is you need space-time. Okay, it's going to do that. I'm going to give you a present. It's almost like give you a certificate, but you're sloppy. And you don't, it runs out on a certain date. It doesn't work. Oh, I have a date on this, and I better cash it in, right? So in that way, like you need time is also important. When you're in a flow state, you feel things as energy, not just energy, but energy flowing. And the time factor tends to slow down physiologically. Oh, your vision goes from to more wide angle lens, soft eyes. You feel like you and your partner are kind of in a group project, not fighting each other. And there's communication. That's a flow state. It's really fun. Then we get caught up in reacting, doing that. So, one of the major things, what is a flow state? Flow state, things flow. All right. You can mess up a flow state by getting a little too obviously physical, and you can mess up a flow state by getting too mental with it. Clay Thompson was horrible for a while, but my sense with Clay was he wasn't shooting very well, so he practices mechanics in the game. He's just going through what he should be doing, and at some point, Clay hopefully has shut up, and you put your work in before the game. In the game, it has to flow. It's not going to go in because you're checking your fingers and your footwork and everything like that, and trying to will it in. It doesn't work. Flow. And he's getting better. Okay? See, there's functional intelligence. Okay? The Warriors have a rookie. He's 20 years old. He plays like he's been in the league for 10 years. Why does he do that? Well, he hasn't been in the league for 10 years. But he just has functional intelligence. I was kind of mentioning to a couple of you, important play. He's got the ball. He takes a couple of quick dribbles in, and he passes to Clay, and Clay hits an open three. But guess what? He passes to Clay. The defenders read that. No, he makes a couple of dribbles in. Now he could mess up and try to go to the hoop, but the configuration isn't right. But the couple of dribbles in draws a couple of defenders to him, so he passes it to Clay, and Clay's got pretty much an open look. That's intelligence. He's not just thinking about what he does. He's got feeling the whole game space. And he's doing that in motion. Okay? Now, the Aikido is a little different. We can know it cold and be like Clay Thompson, where you can't find your shot. You know your shot, you know your shot, you know your shot. You go over it, you go over it. Now, you shouldn't be thinking about your shot in the game. You are a part of the game flow. And it helps to have teammates that recognize that. In fact, if you throw it to Clay and a couple of defenders, he'll take a shot, but it'll be a contested shot. His percentage goes down. He starts to be a head case and worries about his mechanics. What? He misses his next couple of shots. You got a teammate who takes a couple of dribbles in, draws the defenders just that little extra, makes a clean pass to Clay. Clay gets a good look. Clay stops thinking. Clay relies on his flow bigness in a flow game, with flow teammates, and all is good. Okay, now you have a teammate. It's called an Ike if you're a Nage, or you're a Nage. And if you're a Nage, there's an Uke. It just goes back and forth with teammates. So you have to know enough to get to the flow dimension. If your feet are crossed, there's no flow. So sometimes we'll kind of correct certain mechanical things. But you can know the mechanics cold and miss the flow experience, right? And the flow experience is the unity. When I'm in a good flow state, the world doesn't bark at me the same way. This is still the same world, which is what happens. My own makeup, my own psychology are kind of freed up. The nice thing about the flow state is there's a freedom in the moment. I'm not totally free. I can't jump out into outer space like Superman, but largely speaking, in the moment, when you're in a flow dimension, there's freedom. Okay? Well, Bruce Lee really didn't really think that power was the major thing. Obviously, he wanted it, he had it. He talked about liberation. Okay? But since he used fancier words, it's hard to understand, like the floating bridge of heaven or true emptiness, things like that. Yeah, those are cool words. But, you memorize the words, that's where all your key goes. And so, you say, I'm not going to listen to anything. But Sensei had his code words for things. He was an old style teacher. He'd say, okay, this is that. Bruce Lee was a little bit more, he was interested in his own process in communicating. So his language sometimes is a little better. But Sensei is a bit more mysterious because he's an older generation. He's very, very, like, I don't give you anything. You got to do some work to get it. And what happens, he had his own code. So I'm using the term flow state, when he might be talking about the mythical floating bridge of heaven. Okay? And somebody has to stand there. You can't just be in a flow state. But, the flow is going to do it for me. Yeah, it'll help you out if you know who you are in that flow. You have enough of a grasp of the mechanics. You just let go. And then you and your partner are yin to yang in that flow state. And then you get something really cool. And then, that can be carried outside. Okay, so everybody up? Okay, now one of the things we're doing, she comes with two hands. So there's this motion, boom, and then there's that motion. Okay, and there seems to be a cross purposes. And we were kind of mentioning, I mess up. Okay, boom, but I can jumpstart the movement. Where I'm going is not so much to try to do it with her. I'm going to the flow state, which includes her. And that's a fun place, let me tell you. All right. I'm not going to change the world with it, but the world can warp my mind and get me a very reactive in a very bad space. And if enough of us were in that state, we would discern much more clearly what we need to do to clean the world up. If we'd act as a family, and we'd clean up the environment, we'd clean up the politics, we do a whole bunch of stuff. If I was since he created this stuff. And then he had his own crazy lumps. It didn't make it easy. Okay. Now what we're saying right here is this motion and that motion. Okay. Now we're going from that broader attack forward with a step back turn to something that, like the push or the grab right down the middle. Okay. Boom. You in the flow state, you kind of disappeared for a second. You're Batman. Using popular art. She's Commissioner Gordon. Where'd you go? Now I can ruin the whole thing by shedding and twisting. My hips keep turning. Now right here, I can ruin the whole thing by setting together. She kind of turns in and lets me know that I'm wide open there. But see, once you're behind here, and she's going to turn in, she has to turn the corner. And you create the clothesline. You got a lot of time there. I'm just explaining some mechanics more from a flow standpoint. I'm not thinking very much. In the flow state, the movement evolves for you. Okay, you understand it in your way. I can help you with images and things that work for me, sort of, all right? And they have to be updated constantly. But when you're in the flow state, you're creating your own, or you're saying, yeah, that's kind of what it's like. But you have your own insights. You're you. Okay. Sensei was really good, but he can't stand for us in that flow dimension. We have to understand how to stand in it as who we are. And that's a lot of what I do with the reward is more harmony. We appreciate, in some sense, when the flow state is what Bruce Lee called a degree of liberation. You experience freedom. You're more in that way. I'm infinite, I'm the universe. Well, you're freedom. Freedom to be larger, more cohesive. If you need to be gentler, you can be gentler. This morning or whatever it is, I just told Al, I said, we're not connecting very well. What did I do? Right? In other words, it's probably, it takes two to do that. But you become, and so what happened is I just explained about that, probably did something. Yeah, you shouldn't get into it, but then we'd be connected that way. Right? You should tell, vibes are not what they should be. Okay? And it really wasn't anything other than the fact that all of a sudden there was that connection. Maybe she's involved in her stuff, watching her stuff on TV, and I'm kind of swinging a sword. Okay, the two don't sometimes connect very well. So you got to at some point say, okay, yeah, something there. And you're straight there. And then we really didn't have to. I think it was just like, okay, I'm too caught up in what I'm doing, and you're too caught up in what you're doing. We need to kind of settle a little bit and just have a moment where we start to connect, as opposed to like, okay, that's fine. But when you're in a flow state, of course, you begin to realize, the vibes here need a little examining. So if she's coming in this direction, I'll go this way. Boom. We got that one. Okay. So there's a technique, but there's also what we're aiming for. Okay? The goal, so to speak. The goal is not out there. The goal is an interior development. So looser, freer. My mind works in a more immediate way. So it's functional intelligence. Clears. Your body responds to that by being more flexible, looser, and to create you standing in a flow dimension. It starts here. The dimension is always out there. In fact, when I'm not in it, and there's a lot of flow out there, and I'm kind of in it, what happens to me is chaos. Right? So when that happens, I got to be very easy and just say, okay, there's a lot of energy here. I'm going to kind of settle a little deeper. Okay, let's go one more time. Same partner, enough talk. Go. Ah. Yeah, let me try one with you. Okay, let's go first. Let's go. Okay, now you're externalizing yourself. Fine. Soft eyes. See the whole room. You see what I mean? When you start to look at me, you create duality, uke nage. Now, uke nage exists to be part of a flow system. And when I'm starting to eyeball, I create distance. That's what happened this morning. No, we got to talk because there's some vibe here. I think we need to clear up. Okay. Yes. All right. Yeah. And you go into like, yeah, all you do is swing your sword. Yeah, but all you do is watch your crazy TV shows. And then you have an argument, or you say, you know what I mean? I mean, you know, you're in your own world. Yeah, you're in your own world. Yeah, I get that. But we better deal with this right now. We didn't have to say the other stuff. Okay. So sometimes when you're in a flow state, you surprise yourself. Right? Better? Okay, now, right there. Good connection, but you're not going to try to move me. What you're going to do is right there, you're going to turn your belly button. Okay? You don't try to bring me down. You let me bring myself down. Okay? All right? I got to bring them down. No, if you come in this direction, I got to bring you down. No. Now, right here is an important because you can turn in, even though I'm behind you, right? So as you're turning in, the clothesline just sort of naturally forms. That's part of the flow dimension. I'm going to clothesline. No, you don't. All right? So if we go all the way up again, loose and easy. The Japanese make it very dramatic. Shinken shobu, live brave. Yeah, but if you were a samurai, there's another one for your, you're basically life and death match. You could be loose and easy. Okay? I'm coming in, this is boom, 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 boom. Let's go. When you're slow state, things just unfold for you, both for you and your partner. Whether you care or not, it's just this constant unfolding. That's why it can be very therapeutic. Or conversely, I'm a little too tight, it's extremely frustrating. It's almost like the sword cuts both ways. You got to realize which side of the sword you want to be. You see what I mean? So good. All right. Yeah. Okay, now one thing I'm going to add right here. Okay, he comes in this way. He's fast. Okay, but he's pulling you a little bit in. So I think it's easy. You're the center. He's the circle. Right. If I'm coming in a little bit, for example, you know, okay. Now that's a pull. Now what I want you to do a little bit. When that happens, you're eyeballing me. Wide angle lens. That was Robert Koga's description of self guides. When you start to look at me, you lose the center. Okay? And the flow state can't happen when you're kind of too outer directed. So you come in this way. Good. Now, these are a little faster right there, obviously. So you get pulled into the speed. The trick, you don't. You don't react to the fast and strong and got a very powerful center. You just watch it. Okay, now right there, when you start to reach, relax. Because when you start to reach, you start to lose your center. These are just tricks. But what I'm trying to teach you is not how to do the technique better, but how to stay in that flow dimension there. You see what I mean? A little different. Good. Now, what it did is I added a little extra speed. You didn't get pulled into it. You just kept your center in that flow state. Now go again. Yeah. See, that was always there. You see, you know, you can correct people as to do this more or that more, but I'm just saying, look, how do I get you to stand and realize, you know, what you're really working on? It's not how to bring somebody down. You're really working on, you have variations, different partners. I'm really learning how to kind of maintain that connection to the flow dimension and include my partner in that. So we create a harmony. That's what we're really working on. Okay? All right? Huh? So that's good. See, you don't try to bring him down. You establish the center, there's kind of a down spiral. There's also an up spiral, but on that one, which gets your weight down, you create the updraft. You just stay in that flow connection with it. That was nice. Okay. Okay, okay, good. All right. Now, we're going to do something a little different here. We're going to extend to it. I mean, in other words, she's going to attack, says I'm attacking again. But come on. Come up, down, down. Now I go here, there's weight. I'm going to settle a little bit more into that flow dimension. I go intervention to it. Well, now here. Okay, now she can stand around and she puts herself there. So what you're doing right here is getting this. Not in a way that taxes the shoulder, but stand up. And then you put the knee here. Then you change hands. There's a technology to the movement. Right. Now, if you ask me which hand goes first, which hand goes second, I don't want to know. What I want in the flow state is a certain amount of precision. So the flow state cuts both ways. If you're in it, some people have a lot of it, but they're too disorganized because they all over the place. And the flow kind of brings up some chaos. And whoa. So you got to realize sometimes when things are a little that way, you're easy there. All right, so I'll go this way. Huh? Now, what I'm doing a little bit right there, she may come underneath. Okay, so I'm moving a little bit over here, extending from up, down. It slides on a feel level, base everything. Now, lead shoulder. I'm too quick out here. Settle in. Trying to catch kind of the base of that, then turn the hip. Over here. And 10. So a little bit of, work on technique per se, because, that's also important. The point is when you're studying the technique, you're also studying how you maintain your connection to that flow place, okay? All right? Let's, a little bit of squatty wada, not for too long, okay? So let's go, okay? It's a hard conversion. Yeah, okay, yeah. Now, don't lean into it, okay? One other thing here we get to do. First thing you do is not like this. Okay? It's almost like it's like you're jumping on top of concrete. You're going to settle and it becomes quicksand. Okay? So, you're pushing down on concrete. We're going to go where there's kind of a mud bath instead of here. Feel this thing. I'm not putting any pressure on you. Because we're both kind of independent. All right? So, and now okay, now, first of all, I would rotate your shoulders. Good. Okay, right. Just that. See what I mean? You didn't try to bring me down. Like you're in and out. I'm going to bring you down. No, you just going to do your movement from the floor. Now rotate your hips. And there you got pretty good movement right there. See what happens? Because you have enough under. Most people don't. Okay. But what you're doing is going this way. Now right there, I'm running your weight, so I need to go you're taller, so you get angles I don't get. Okay, boom. Then I turn the hip. See what it is you're taller. Okay, so your connection to that turn is faster than mine. I got to settle under, so if we go here, I can't do what you do. Ah, yeah, yeah. It's like talking to my partner. You know, the vibes don't feel right. And we could yell at each other about, you spend too much time swinging the shoulder, but you spend too much time watching disaster movies and what? Just, so let me feel yours again. With him, he's very, very thick, which is good. You're going to need more down. Oh, okay, good. Now turn your hip. Okay, good. All right. No, we still got to work that out with him, but you two different teachers. I'm giving you a little bit of a scouting report. Okay? All right, go. Oh, okay. It's all right. I'm fine. Put that foot back, put yourself at the other angle. Okay? Okay, now, don't put your weight into me, okay? I'm an electrical cord, that's the outlet, plug me in. Bring your body a little, okay. Better connection for you, gets you into the flow state. Trying to twist and put your weight out here, creates more chaos. And you may get limited results, which creates more dialogue at least. It keeps you out of the flow state. It's really funny. Yeah, I know. So, look, this is an electrical cord. Plug me in. You turn me on by rotating your hips. Okay, now that's not rotating your hips, that's pulling away.
Okay.
So I would add right there. Settle. Okay. Settle. Get the down. Get the under. Now turn your head. Okay. There's the technology to it. Right? I mean, I mean, that's still for clay because, occasionally when we go to this park, this is there, and I go there and, I bring my basketball and I shoot. I'm thinking, screw this. Because, I know this and I'm working on the mechanics and I just got to say, shut up and let it flow. And you do some work on the mechanics, you realize, oh, I'm looking to the left. Maybe see, the difference between this grip, and there he says 10 fingers towards the hoop. No, but then you shut up. You get back into your flow. There's usually just one thing you're going, okay, now shut up. And all right. So, okay. Triangulate your body. Now, right there, that's you're kicking the electric fan because it won't work. It's not plugged in. Plug it in. Okay, now see that area right under the yes. Too low. If it's too low, it slips out. You put it there. Turn your body. Turn. Oh, okay. Now you have enough under this. Put that foot back a little bit. Okay, good. Now lower that shoulder. Settle under it. No, you're right there. You're pulling away. Under. No, under first. Under first, turn your hip. Okay, good. If he's coming in this direction, I'm going to try to come. No, I'm just going to Go deeper position, but there's the under, and then I turn the hip. The hip is important, but if you don't get the underneath
Yeah.
part of the deeper
Yeah.
depth of the flow state, it's just wind up pulling or trying to get away. Well, I mean, I understand those things because I've messed up in all those ways for decades. You see what I mean? You either keep on doing it, you get limited results and whatever. I mean, I had this conversation with Peter Rawls, and he was talking about teachers that they kind of, Peter was actually very cynical, but he was talking cynical about how, he watches people and what the teachers, what instructors want and like that. And, it's like, oh, they just want the students to fly, with me, for example, here, there's a flow state here. Push. One thing about when you understand, that's very real, very yin. You understand, if you understand motion, you understand in moving. I'm not as good as those sensors. And most people want to get too heavy to do that, and then he gets heavier back. He's going to win that. There we go. Go through the flow, yin, yielding. You understand the immovable to some degree. I'm using a very fancy word. I'm not immovable. But the flow dimension gives you access to other states. Right? I mean, some of the hard ones, for example, you stand up and you push. This is hard. Just push, good. And then, I try to center and, I still get pushed over. But, you go here and if you understand, push, good. Soft yielding, and, touches immovable. But something going on, you could put a stick out and two guys could push on it and touch it. That's crazy. Absolutely nuts. I mean, when I watch home movies of him, when I first started, he's like a superhero.
Yeah.
How are you doing that? Just pulls on people. People can't, he raises his hand and people fall down. He's like Dr. Strange and something like that. So, in that way, that area right there where there's a whole level of development, because, the techniques give us a kind of a soundboard for working that flow dimension. And of course, what happens is work flow, the technique, you start to understand the technique on different levels. So, I mean, and actually what's funny is, we had this conversation yesterday with Laura and Nadeau, and both, Lauren was both Hombu and Singer, and I was Singer. And then, we get into this stuff, and Nadeau was, we knew Swati wasn't at Hombu. I said, of course you did. But I said, as time went on, it's like we saw a lot of Swati was and Singer. But then at Hombu, they do a little bit. When you were doing it, they did a lot of Swati. Yeah. And then when I went back for my second stay, it was almost no Swati was in Singer. Everybody got away from it because, it's like,
Did they all get older and their knees?
Just everybody gets lazy, That's why we're doing a little bit of it today.
Yeah, sure.
Because we had a Swati was argument. Instructors did crazy stuff. I just thought you made it sound like they never did 20 was at home. I remember one time Yamaguchi came to do 20 was for 3 classes. I went up to it, look at this. You're not too smart. I've been in 3 of your classes. And so
you have a sensei argument and we suffer.
No, you're not suffering. This is fun. Yeah. Okay, all right. Okay. Let's look at a couple of things here. Just a couple of things right here. You don't want to be too square here. Square is like I'm a closed door. Okay. If I am push. Okay. So there's a little bit of almost like a half open door, kind of a half moon. full moon, half moon. Okay. But right here, it's got a pretty good line of energy though. See what happens with the flow dimension is that you soften underneath. Right. This is where Elle and I could have an argument. I said, I think there's some sort of a thing we need to resolve. And then about a couple of minutes later, we were holding hands. You see what I mean? We didn't have to go into it, as I remember that. All right. Now, the hips are important here, but, I'm going to turn this hip. I'm going right into that lot of energy she's got. I got to get under softens things. That looks like that's power, but it's not. The feeling right there, for example, she's coming in, so we're going to go like this. And it's kind of a loving feeling. All right, boom. It's almost like, it's more like I said, I'm going to get you. Oh, you can't believe what I got you for Christmas. Boom. It's that wonderful. You know what I mean? That feeling a little bit. So when I said there was love, you didn't mean that there wasn't power there, but it was framed in a softer, more connective way. That's what happens in the flow dimension, right? And my own personal thing is I'd rather use the techniques to explore that flow dimension, because what happens is I'm exploring me too. In the process, I'm too jagged and too judgmental. That'll be easy here. Easy. The under opens up. Things soften. No. Okay. So anyway, yes. Okay, why don't we all line up and okay, thank you very much. Let's see, the holiday schedule. Holidays are definitely here. We're going to do Thursday class next week, but we're going to be taking off from Christmas Eve to New Year's Eve. So both of those fall on Sunday, okay? And the week between, we're going to take off, end of year, okay? We will be doing a Friday class. So next week, like Guido said, we got the in-person class on Thursday. Then we do the online class on Friday, which, we will do. And then Sunday to Sunday is off. Okay? I'd like on Monday, the 1st, 11 to 12, 11 to noon, do the New Year's training. So, okay, so that's on the books if you'd like to do it. Okay. So, thank you very much.